All right, how you all doing, ladies and gentlemen? As always, it feels like I'm joined today by Nagels123 to talk about the big news, which is obviously Matthijs de Ligt officially joining Bayern. Now, it was sort of a semi-officially, previously, but now it is officially official. The club has announced it; it is happening, and surprisingly, the price is a lot cheaper than what a lot of people thought. The reports were 70 million plus 10 million euros. Well, Juventus officially confirmed it was 67 million plus 10 million euros. So we're saving 3 million. Amazing. Nagels, how are you doing? I know you were massively hoping for one, Gnabry to extend, and two, for the Ligt to join Bayern. How does it feel having all these two things happen
It's
within
a dream.
7 days?
It's a dream, bro. I'm telling you, it's a dream. I can't believe it. Like, I honestly can't because I read the tweet today saying we were linked with like someone who was called Marzipan and I don't know the other ones and Matthias Ginter 2 months ago, and now we are signing the list, bro. This is crazy. I'm just so happy about it. I honestly think this. If we are honest, we have for me we have the best defense in Europe. Like no doubt, we have the best defense in Europe. Just by the names, no, they need to play together and prove that, but just if you look at the lineup on paper, we have the best defense, and I'm so happy about it. And honestly, if you watch the like introduction videos of De Ligt, right, you could
Yeah.
see how happy he was.
Oh,
Like he
absolutely.
genuinely wants to play for Bayern. He's so happy about it, and he also took a dig at Juventus, saying that his their play style, wasn't for him.
Yeah.
But he thinks Bayern's play style is way better suited for him. So I'm
Yep.
so hyped. I think it's crazy. He also said the board and especially the trainer were important factors for him. Just proves, and it makes me proud as a Bayern fan to know that we have such a like good connection between the board and the trainer. We are working so well together to pull out all these transfers. I don't know whether you saw the. I think Amir Samir tweeted about the article of the Athletic of how Bayern is actually pulling these players in the Marco Neppe Brazzo relationship, how they do that. Marco Neppe being more of the tactical guy, and while Brazzo is trying to take the player on the emotional side. Oh, I love it, bro. This could be the beginning of an era. I'm telling you. Everyone thought, oh yeah, let's see how Bayern does when Rummenigge and Uli Hoeneß leaves. Now look at them. We're pulling players, man. Yeah. Let's go, bro. This is crazy. Honestly, I don't even care about Lewandowski anymore. I was sad. Now I don't care, bro. I don't care. Playing 3-5-2, Mane, Nabri will score. I think they will score together like 30 goals, which is completely enough to win the league. It's enough. We don't need one player who scores 35 goals. Two players who score 30 goals is completely fair for me. It's like, I don't.
I
What
don't
is
I don't
your
think I've heard anyone be this happy and this excited and just this ecstatic about signings in a long time. Because typically what happens obviously with us at Bayern is that well, we make some good signings here or there, but at the end of the day, it's typically like one good signing. It's like one standout signing per summer. This summer we've had a lot. We've had a lot of good news. We've had Gnabry extend his contract. We've had Mane come in. We've
Oh yeah,
had a key signing for the attack, a key signing for the defense now in the Ligt, and obviously previously as the right back as well in Mazraoui. And then also you could say a key signing. I mean, especially we see that with Goretzka's injury, a key signing in midfield. It seems like we have a key signing on all positions this season. And it looks like we're trying to go for a highly talented youngster as well in Matthias Tell. And then in addition to that, it does seem like, it does seem like Lima is a very big possibility. I didn't think that. I honestly didn't
oh,
think that. But it does seem like that is, with Goretzka being injured now, maybe the club will be more willing to
to
spend
spend
that
more.
money. And
Yeah.
that's what the reports are saying as well. So the club is making big moves. It's making some big moves. It's made some big moves.
Every big move puts even more pressure on Nagelsmann. Like he is getting everything he wants plus Tell. Because I don't
Yep.
think he wants Tell that much, but he's getting him as well. Which means this guy has And you saw the reports, right? About I think Brazzo and Khan confirmed it today that they are not planning to sell any defenders. Like how Sky and Kicker and everyone reported that someone would be sold. No, actually, we don't sell anyone. I mean, not any one of the key figures. No Nianzou, no Pavard, no Upa, no anyone. Chris Richard might leave, but he wasn't part of the team in the first place anyway. Like he wasn't here in the last year, so I don't count it as sale. If you know what I mean. But bro, this squad there, crazy. And he said, Brazzo said he loves the competition, right? He loves the competition among the defenders, which would mean we could see one game playing Pavard, one game playing Upamecano, one play they're playing both. Then there was this possibility, someone on Twitter said it, and I think it was quite possible. Mazraoui also being some type of a central back if we really want to. There's because he's playing more of the central role, if I remember correctly, at Ajax. So this is so many good signings, bro. Last year I was pumped because of Nagelsmann. This year I'm pumped because of Nagelsmann and the signings. So it just kept getting better.
Okay, well, we talked about this off stream a little bit last time, me and you. But the pressure on Nagelsmann now is extreme. Like the pressure on Nagelsmann, he has to deliver, and it's very telling that I think I've told you this before, but it's very telling that the club isn't talking about the Bundesliga anymore. Like previously, all we would hear is of the Bundesliga. The club has clearly had a shift, and it clearly had a shift that the aim now is the Champions League. And in terms of squad, I would say we have one of the best squads in world football. I mean, we talked about this previously. I said probably like top 3 squad.
Yeah.
With the two English giants being, number 1 and number 2 in Man City and Liverpool. Do you still see that way? Have you changed your mind about that? Do you think differently? Do you think the same? Maybe you think we've got the best squad. Maybe we think we've got a significantly worse squad than I think.
Okay. I think, honestly, I don't know if you see it as well as me, like the same way as me, but I think we have, for me, this is the best Bayern squad in like the last, like just by the names, right? 2013 was crazy because of how good they played. And 2020, they were also playing really good. But just looking at the names, and if we get Lima in as well, for me, this is like the most stacked Bayern squad of the last, this squad is insanely good. But I would say, City is better. Yeah, City is better. I wouldn't say that Liverpool is better, though. I think losing Mane, they maybe, how do you say that? They underrate the impact of Mane, like how important he was, right? You could also say that to Bayern, underrating the importance of Lewandowski. But I think Mane is even more crucial to them. Because they have, I think he scored a lot of goals. And I don't want to judge Nunez too fast, all this fake compilation. I don't think he's that bad, but he clearly needs time, right, to arrive at Liverpool. So I don't know whether they are like the second. I'm sleeping on Paris Saint-Germain, and they're like, and Mbappe staying. I think they're still like top 3, top 4, like easily. I know they are not showing that in the Champions League that they are like that good, but I think when it comes only to solely to squad value and how good the squad is, I think they're still top 3, top 4. Real Madrid is fine. I think they're desperately a right wing. Barcelona, I think, is underrated. Like now, they have a good squad. I feel like they have a good squad, like top 8 for me. But if I have to rank Bayern squad, I would say second place, just behind Man City.
Okay, interesting. Well, obviously, we need to talk about De Ligt. And my main question really is, I mean, we've talked about De Ligt for, it feels like 2 weeks now. It's been quite a quick transfer, I must say. But the big question, of course, is that I have for you, just because will he be our main centre back next season? Will he be
at the start of the season? They both are set, and it's a fight between the third spot between Upamecano and Pavard. That's what I think. That's would be for me the most realistic one. I think De Ligt gets signed because we need like this. Even like Kahn, even Neuer, right? Neuer, who never talked about it, said, oh, I like that he's like this leader, right?
Yeah.
That he's like the voice of the back four, and he likes these kind of players, right? I think he's set. Just because of this. And honestly, I don't think he will fail. If he fails, we might see a chance, but I don't think that. I think the Ligt will play like every game. I think he's just said like Lewandowski was last season. Like there was no competition for the spot. What do you think? Do you think he's not set?
Well, I think it's a lot more closer than people would like to believe. I don't
Okay.
know whether he'll be our main centre back next season. At least I think he will start being our main centre back next season. But I think what will happen next season is very similar to what happened to Upamecano last season, which is he'll start, he'll perform, but then he'll have a few absolutely terrible games, and then he starts getting phased out. The likes of Pava will start getting more games, so on and so forth, and Nianzou. And I think it's going to be difficult for him to get back into the team just because it's his first season at Bayern. But I may be proven wrong, of course. But that's just kind of how I think it'll go. I don't think it's going to be sunshine and roses. Typically, I feel like with centre backs, it's a lot easier to integrate into a squad than it is for an attacker. Just because an attacker, you rely on a lot of different factors on how to break a defense, on how to play against a defense that parks the bus. Whereas as a centre back, it's much more things that you work on training, things that are more structurally important. So my question really is, no, not my question, but like more so my thought is that he won't be able to just slot in right away. He will look good at the beginning, and that will just be his.
I don't know what Barca does, but he's like crazy good. Like this transfer window, bro. I don't even know why he does. But why do you think we decide to spend so much money this transfer? Okay, it's not even that much, but why do we? Because honestly, like we always say, right? If there's smoke, there's some fire. That means that these names aren't just random names which anyone just comes up with. There might be some truth to it that we were really interested in them, right? But now we are linked up with. We got Mane, we get De Ligt, we're going for Lime, we are about to spend 30 million on a talent which we don't have to, obviously, because we still have like Xerxes, but we are still going for this 30 million 70-year-old gem. But like, what is your thesis for that?
Well, as you said, where there is smoke, there is fire. And I do think that we were genuinely interested in all of these players. But I do think that there was a lot of pressure on not just Brazzo, but the whole board. I mean, it's very telling that like our current leadership is very modern.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
You look at our old leadership, Uli Hoeneß and Karl-Heinz Rummenigge. You would never catch them on Twitter tweeting anything. That's not going to happen.
No.
I know Rummenigge once said that, like he sees, I think it was Davis's Instagram sometimes, or Davis's YouTube videos or something long. Like
we lost Flick, we lost Kovac because he was sacked, we lost Ancelotti because he was sacked. It wasn't often the case we kept someone for like longer than 4 to 5 years was aware. But this just says, please, Nagelsmann, this is what you wanted, right? You wanted a leader in the defense. You wanted someone to replace Levy with. You want this pressing machine, Lima, and you get talent bonus, Matthijs talent as a bonus. Please deliver. And by delivering, I don't think I expect him to win the Champions League like right away, but at least go into the semis and be like, this is if you go out in the Champions League, you should only go out against like top clubs, right? Like the clubs we mentioned when we were talking about the best squads. Like you can get knocked out by City. You can get knocked out maybe by Liverpool on a close match, but you shouldn't get knocked out by Villarreal. That's embarrassing. Like just a Barca laughing at the doors back then when you got drawn by against Villarreal and then being knocked out by them. That's man, that must feel like shit. And now it's all on Nagelsmann to deliver the season. What is your point? What is your take on that? Especially on the what success is needed to be like, okay, these transfers were worth it. We got Nagelsmann showed us that he is the man we are looking for to keep for a long time.
Well, I'm going to answer your question, but I'm also going to sort of deflect it to my next question. So I'm going to do a bit of both. To answer your question, Nagelsmann has to deliver. Like there is no question mark. Like that's why, and that at the bottom of the thing, there is no question mark. There is only an exclamation mark. He has to deliver now because it's not a question anymore. And I think he has to deliver next season. I don't think he has the luxury of having 2 seasons now, having 3 seasons, I guess, but 2 seasons from this point. I don't think he has that luxury. I think next season it boils down to. He has to. Well, as I said, DFB Pokal, we have to win it.
We have no doubt. We need to win it.
Yeah, there is no ifs, buts, or anything, or maybes. Like he has to win it because we've now not won it 2 years in a row, and or maybe even longer. And we've gone out to teams that we should be beating comfortably. So the DFB Pokal, alongside obviously the Bundesliga, is a must. But the reason why I'm gonna move this on to the next question is because we've got now a lot of Dutch players in, and me and you have discussed this, outside of YouTube. But we've gotten a lot of Dutch players in, and it's very telling. I think it's very telling that there are 2 managers really that love to manage FC Bayern. One of them is Nagelsmann, who's currently at the club. And the other one is Erik ten Hag, who just joined Manchester United, who's also the biggest Bayern fan. And it's very telling that he worked at Ajax. But obviously, he worked at Bayern before then. But it's very telling that he worked at Ajax. And now we're getting a lot of Dutch players from Ajax in. And to me, it's a very how do I phrase it? It's very interesting that we are building a squad right now for Nagelsmann, a squad that Nagelsmann wants. But if Nagelsmann were to fail, quote unquote, if Nagelsmann were to fail, we could always try a squad right now that both Nagelsmann and Ten Hag. So for me, the way I look at it is actually quite simple. It's just a case. But if he doesn't, our squad is ready to be taken over.
It's a fair point. I think you could be seeing it. I hope we don't need it because
I think 5-6 years ago, he was saying something along the lines of we need to get rid of playing these players in certain formations, and instead we need to focus on developing their creativity, and that's been a shift in football, which is why a lot of these youngsters, they can play multiple formations now because they're not tied down to one specific way of playing football. They are a lot more flexible. They're given roles, and they're a lot more, for lack of a better term, they are smarter than they ever have been, because they're less about I know what my roles are, and it's more sort of a case of what is my role? What do you want me to do? And that's from game to game, rather than just you're gonna do this every single week in, week out. Now it's more so a case of you're gonna do this for this game. But for the next game, I want you to do something completely different. And I think that's really the big shift in both formations and just the way tactical teams set up. So previously, they were set up through organizationally. Now they're set up based on their opponent. And I think that's the big shift in terms of football. And I think they're all sad, honestly, with Pep. I think he's the reason why this has now become so prevalent.
Yeah, it might be the case. Yeah. Plenty of voice regularly cut. Someone said in the chat. I don't. Not for me at least.
Interesting. Let me turn off the fan. Oh no.
Oh, it's too hot, bro. Also in Germany today. I know in England it's even more crazy, but also in Germany it's 38 degrees or something crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me know if it's better now. Let me know if it is better now. If not, then I'll have to think about something, one way to fix it, but I'm actually not sure exactly what that way would be. But yeah, as we were talking about tactics, obviously we need to talk about potentially the leader as our centre back, which is obviously going to be, Lucas Hernandez. And you know what? I think it is Lucas Hernandez. I think Lucas Hernandez is actually going to be the first name on the team sheet and not De Ligt.
Yeah, I think Nagelsmann rates him really high, though. Yeah, right. Yeah.
The entire club rates him very high. It's very. I thought it was very telling that I can't remember who it was, but like someone was mentioning, like a reporter was mentioning. I think it probably was Pletty, who was saying something along the lines of, with Lucas and De Ligt, you've got two, starters in the defense, and it was very telling to me because I was like, interesting. He didn't mention Upamecano. He didn't mention Nianzou. I mean, okay, whatever. But he didn't mention Upamecano or Pavard, who I think a lot of people would expect Upamecano and Pavard to play a lot more regularly. But he didn't mention either of those. He mentioned Lucas and De Ligt. And to me, it's very telling because one, De Ligt wasn't even a Bayern player at that time, and two, Lucas Hernandez, while great, also has a lot of detractors. He's got a lot of fans, but he also has a lot of detractors. So it's interesting.
He does have a lot of fans, right? I think he's one of our most popular players in the team.
Yeah.
It's also quite telling, as I said. I think he was part of both of these like Bayern summer games, and I think they specifically picked players who are like popular among the fan base.
Yep.
That's why they're like Thomas Müller is always there, and I was surprised that Lewandowski wasn't there, but I think they already made the decision. This guy's like, he will leave. No point of him still letting him be part of this summer games thing because he will leave. And I think also many fans didn't like him as much anymore. But Lucas is quite like popular among the team, among the coach. Maybe he's like the undisputed starter of the squad, like of the back row. But I think De Ligt is close to that. I think we really were looking for this type of player for the squad. What is your opinion on, now we have De Ligt and Lucas, right? And we pay crazy fees for both of them.
Yep.
What is your and we pay like 40 million for Upa last season. We paid like more than 30 for Pava. We have like probably the most expensive defense in Europe, and we still concede a lot of goals. I don't know how it will be the next season, but we still have conceded. And this is like where we already talked about it. I think it's because it's not our defense; it's the midfield, which is like the reason we concede that much, because we are playing. You can always see that, right? It's like this one possession loss, like in the opponent's field, and there's just one pass, and they are already like in a sprint duel with Lucas or with Upamecano, and then you really have to ask the question: who is the one to blame? Is it like really defense, or is it Sani who lost the ball for the 6th time in a row? You know what I mean? Because I honestly always find it difficult to always blame the defense to say, "Oh, that's the reason we concede that many goals." Because honestly, it's like, I feel like, you say the keeper is like the last checkpoint you have to pass as a striker, but I honestly think it's the defense you must pass. But the midfield is the one where it's the most difficult to get past through. But I don't think it's the case for Bayern. I think it's quite easy to pass the midfield, and you've seen that quite a lot in the last season or in the seasons before that. I think our defense our midfield isn't that good when it comes to how to act when you lost position. What is your opinion on that?
Well, the way I look at it is actually, yes, you can blame the midfield, and yes, I do blame the midfield for the most part. But just as much as I blame the midfield, I also blame the defense, because at some point, as a defender, your job ultimately, it's in the title. It's you are to defend.
Yeah.
But the argument is, of course, it's one of those tricky situations, because in that case, every goal that you concede, you have to blame your goalkeeper, because at the end of the day, their job is to stop the ball from going in. And if you are just that pedantic, then every single goal that you score, or every single goal that you concede is your goalkeeper's fault, and that's not the case. The same the case that where every single goal that you concede is not the defender's fault. And that's why football is a lot more nuanced, like, stats would like you to believe. And that's why I typically dislike stats, because stats are the most pointless things, in my opinion, in all honesty. Because you can see in the stats, Bayern last season conceded 50 goals that whole season, but this season Bayern only conceded 30, which means this season Bayern's defense must be much better. And it is odd, it's strange, really, how you can just look at that and be like, yeah, it must mean that Bayern's defense is better, but the opponents might have gotten significantly worse. You don't know that. Like, the stats don't tell you that. Also, welcome Daniel to the stream. And Mayim says you would be talking and then it would go silent for a full minute and we'll cut to Nagel's talking, almost as if it were muted. Interesting.
I think you are muted quite sometimes, but not when you talk.
Yeah, not when I'm talking. Like, I do mute myself quite a lot just because I had the fan on. So I didn't want the fan to be there in the background, but I don't know whether it's happening when I'm talking as well. Let me know if that's the case when I'm actually in the middle of talking. But Daniel, how are you doing? De Ligt has officially joined Bayern. Thoughts? I mean, we've talked about De Ligt like 50 times, but thoughts?
Yeah. I'm happy it's finally done, just so we can move on to other targets. Like, I think they want to do Matthijs Tell this week.
Yep.
And then I heard Fabrizio said Limer's almost done, so I just want to move on to the other targets and just finish the window up, get all the players in for preseason, get them warmed up, and then start the season.
Great summary.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the Ligt story, it went pretty quickly for such a high profile signing. And same as like the Mane signing, which went very, very quickly. I feel like, they knew there was rumors, and then within 1 week later, it was like, oh yeah, Bayern is very close, and then like a week after that, we've signed him. It feels very quick in today's market for such high profile signing, because you typically like the high profile signings, there is news stories at all times. And actually, something that I found out yesterday, because I was speaking to a friend of mine who is an agent. Football news stories actually don't often come from the agents themselves. It comes from the club. I thought it was both, but it's mainly just the clubs, which I found very interesting. So, like, typically, the club would announce the stories, I guess, to their journalists. Whereas I thought it was the agents and the footballers themselves that would go to, like, bring up some interest, very similar to what you're seeing with Ronaldo right now and his story about, like, him wanting to join every club and every club saying no.
That's so sad, though.
Is it?
I don't know. I mean, he's still a legend of the game, and him struggling to find a club just doesn't feel right for me. But yeah.
So one thing I want to talk about is youth. I'm not talking about youth players. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the age of our squad right now. We've got a very, very young squad. De Ligt is 22. Lucas Hernandez is 25, I want to say.
No, he's
26.
26. Yeah, I think he's 27. Yeah.
You've got Upamecano, who's 22 as well.
Yeah.
Nianzou, who's I think 19. Davis, who is I think 19.
He's 21. He's 21. I think.
Okay.
Still is young though. Yeah.
I wish.
Musiala, who is 19? Question mark. Yeah. I'm down with myself with everything now. Gnabry, who is
27.
27. You've got Sane, who is 26.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. A Coman, who is 26.
Coman is also 26. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So really, the only old, quote unquote, old/older player in our squad in what you would consider like our
starter.
Starting 11. Mane and Neuer.
Muller too.
And Muller.
Muller, sorry, Muller.
Yeah. I think it's
wow.
I think it's a good balance. It's a good balance though. I like it. I like it. I might be, our defense might be too young. Like, I would maybe be better if we had like one defender that's old enough. But I think even though Lucas not that old, I think he has enough experience, right? I think he's like played for Atletico, he played for Bayern like several years now. I think he has quite some experience, and I don't think that De Ligt is someone who needs experience. To be fair, I think he's already like a complete player. Maybe I'm just biased because I'm really pumped for this transfer, but yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, Lucas and Pavard are World Cup winners too at our defense.
Yeah.
So we've got experience at like
we got
winning
experience.
everything. Yeah, they've won everything there is to win in football pretty much, besides like the Euros. So I think it's like a mix of like youth and experience, because even if the backline's young, you have Neuer commanding them behind them.
Mhm.
I think that helps a lot. Then you've got Muller and Mane who've won everything. So I think it's a good mix of everything. And then because I think one issue Bayern had, in my opinion, was when we had like Robin, Ribéry, Schweinsteiger, Lahm, is we were not that good at moving on the old guard into the new generation. I think now we're seeing a big difference in that because of Hassan. So I kind of like the direction the club's moving in because of that.
Good take. I know that I think it was last season, half of the last season, someone Twitter were like, they were posting this picture of Neuer, Müller, and Lewandowski, and they'd be like, this is the time where Bayern will be vulnerable when these three retires or leave the club, right? And I find it quite funny. Now it's Lewandowski's gone. I don't think we got that much weaker. I think it's a different story when Neuer leaves, though, because he's like, it will be quite hard to replace him. Although we have Nubel, I think it's still some difference. And with Müller, I think with Musiala, we already have someone who's like, could easily replace him. Without disrespect to Müller, though, I still love this guy, but I think we already have our replacement with Musiala, and there's someone at Leverkusen who's also ready for that. So yeah.
Someone at Leverkusen, who are you talking about? Are you talking Bellarabi?
Yeah, I'm talking about Bellarabi. This guy is crazy. But yeah, I think, as Dan said, these generation shift, which will be coming the next like 2 or 3 years, we are handling that very well.
Okay. Well, I very much agree as well. It took us 5-6 years to get a right back, to replace Lahm, and it seems like we finally got it. Now, I don't want to say that too early before we actually see Mazraoui play for Bayern, but it seemed like we finally gotten that replacement, and for that I'm happy about, because that was for years that was our biggest weakness, and that's not a shot at Pavard, because Pavard is great defensively. He just wasn't that good offensively. You need sort of like a balance. But yeah, CFTV, how you doing? I hope you're well. I hope you're good. What are your thoughts on De Ligt joining Bayern? Are you excited? Are you happy? And since we didn't get to talk to you about it last time, what are your thoughts on Lewandowski leaving? And also, what are your thoughts on Gnabry extending?
Yeah, very good, very good, very good. And I told you we can't doubt Brazil. Very good signing. And I think now our leadership problem has been solved. Now all we need to do is get a DM. That's all I really need in the team. Is a DM. I would love to also say that we should sell Sane. This is the time when we should sell Sane.
Oh,
Sane is not needed. Sane is not needed anymore. Guys, I'm sorry. He had 2 years. His first season, he had to prove himself. He didn't prove it. The second season, he did well. First half of the season, he didn't prove it either. It's time for us to let him go. Let us go get a backup left back who can compete with Alphonso Davies and give competition to Davies so that he can stay on his toes and actually stay fit. Because I can't stand it. Fucking Goretzka, you just came back from vacation. And then flipping hell. Next thing you know, 2 or 3 training sessions later, you say, "Oh, I'm out 6 to 8 weeks." I'm tired. I'm really tired. We need to give that guy competition so that he can know that his position is in jeopardy.
Well,
because this is serious.
Well, you have Gravenberch.
No. Gravenberch, right? Gravenberch is a Tolisso replacement. Yes, Goretzka is a box-to-box, and I agree. But what I'm talking about is we need a DM. We need someone like Konrad Leimer who is good at gegen pressing, because that's what Goretzka is good at. Gegen pressing, he's also good at that. You see, but my problem, and this is my problem per se, is that we've given Goretzka and Sane way too many chances. We've given them way too many chances, especially Sane. Sane does not work in the right wing. He does not work at AM. He's not good. He's not a good versatile player. The only position he works in is left mid. But if we get this Matthijs Tell guy who comes from Rennes, this guy can play left wing, can play striker, can play right wing, and he's very good in those three positions. You see, and he will give you more desire, more passion. You know, sorry, Bayern fan TV. I'm very sorry. I have low patience for Sane on this, but I'm gonna give it to him. Sane, right? Let me tell you something. Sane had a very good 1v1 chance. I don't know what game that was. I think it was against Frankfurt or something. A proper 1v1 chance. Bro, this guy shot it wide. No, it was against Wolfsburg. Yeah. Against Wolfsburg. I don't know if you guys saw it. Proper 1v1. Proper 1v1. If it was Mbappe, it's a goal. If it was any other, I'm telling you, it's a goal. Sane decided to shoot that joint wide. I was so pissed. Because that could have been, you could have won. I mean, I know it's the end of the season. I know it's Wolfsburg. I understand. But he's been doing that way too often. He's had 1v1 chances where he misses it. And I'm like, bro, you know, poor decision making, no end product. He's just really, really horrible to watch sometimes. Like, I'm very sorry to say this, but cashing on him, get 60 or 65 million. If Arsenal is going to give us that money, get it. And we can rebuild this whole team, because he's not needed. He's really not. Even Nyanzu too. Nyanzu needs to leave. No. Look, let me tell you something. I'm not playing. Look, I'm not. You know I'm not playing, right? I have an attitude like Oliver Kahn and those guys, but I'm not playing, bro. I'm not playing. This Nyanzu guy is very injury prone. No, he's very injury prone, bro. That dude is very injury prone. He's how do you say this? He's inconsistent sometimes. He plays too aggressive. If we're gonna use him as a DM, that's his natural position. If we're gonna use him as a DM, yeah, okay, I'll take it. You know what I'm trying to say? But if you're not gonna use him as a DM, you're gonna put him as a fourth center back, that's wrong. That's wrong. But he's versatile. That's what I like about him, because he can play DM, he can play center back. So for me, Bayern fans, like, I'm very serious about this. Get rid of Sane. This is all that's like. Get rid of Sane. Sane needs to, like, if you get rid of him, we can get Bernard Sosa from Stuttgart for 20 to 25 million. Bayern fan TV, and then we could probably get a backup goalkeeper, because bro, Aurak is horrible. I don't know about you all, but I seen man against Bochum. This man, bro, this man is flying over like a fly or something. I don't know why. He's horrible, man. He's horrible.
Honestly, I lost all my hopes right after the game against Real Madrid. But I think you brought up some interesting aspect of the. We need to talk about players who will struggle if we actually decide to play 3-5-2, because this formation means some type of players don't have their best position anymore. Like, there's no left wing, no right wing, right? Especially we need to talk about Sane, we need to talk about Coleman, we need to talk about, I think there are several players who will struggle to find like their fit into the system. And Sane is one of them. I agree. But what I don't know whether you saw the comments. Yeah, I don't know whether you saw the comments. Yeah, go ahead.
Nagels 1, 2, 3. Let me ask you a question. I want him to go with a 4-4-2. This is my personal opinion. I know why I'm saying that. I've seen him use it in Leipzig. It makes more sense. The squad can adapt to it much easier, and you are not kind of, I don't know how to say it, because the one thing about three center backs is, let's say there's a team, right, who they are playing two strikers. it leaves loopholes at the back. It actually brings loopholes and gets through balls, and they can easily make combination plays that easily allows goals. You see, so that's my point. Nagels, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just saying something I already said, I think the last time. When there were these rumors about Sane and Real Madrid and Chelsea, you could see how the other fan base still rate him high, right? It's just the Bayern fan base who like, this guy, he thinks he's not that good. I think this is like the last season where you could still sell him for a good price because this they still value him high. But if he's like not playing anymore because he can't find his position in the squad, it would be hard for him to like, you know what I mean. It would be hard for us to sell him for a good price because he still has a lot of contract, right? I think we could still get like 70 million for him, like at least this season. But I don't. I know what you're up to, like core football, but I don't think we will sell him. I think he's still getting his chances. It's probably will be his last, and also his
No,
last.
no, but there's a possibility, bro. There's a huge possibility. Let me tell you why, bro.
Why?
If Arsenal, right? Arsenal need a proper winger, and this guy has thrived under Arteta. So the like it's so possible. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? I know they'll say, oh, maybe he's looking for Champions League football. But the thing is, the stage that Sane is in, he needs to go to a club where he can develop so that he can start for the Germany national team. You understand what I'm trying to say?
That's an important fact. Yeah.
Right.
You see?
Cole, can I just rebuttal your points, all of them, very, very
Why?
quickly? So I'm gonna start with the Sane point because I find this the most interesting one. You saying that we need to get rid of Sane. My
Mhm.
argument is these are just facts, and I don't like stats. I don't like facts. I just like I just like opinions. But this time I'm gonna give you some facts. Last season,
Mhm.
Serge Gnabry,
Mhm.
who we're all excited about, who extended his
Mhm.
contract, he got 17 goals, 10 assists in 45 games. So he got 27 goal participations.
Right.
Leroy Sané, who you're saying we need to bin, got
Mhm.
14 goals and 15 assists last season. So you got 29 goal participations compared to Gnabry's 27.
Mhm.
And I'm just saying, you're celebrating Gnabry extending, but you want Leroy Sané gone, who actually statistically contributes more than Gnabry. And in addition to that, you said,
Mhm.
you know, we've got a Bayern player, you know, he shouldn't miss easy one-on-ones. Well,
Yeah.
Thomas Muller.
Yeah, I'm
Thomas Muller,
look,
England.
no,
That's all I'm
no,
saying.
whoa, oh, no, I understand. Look, I understand Mueller misses 1v1s. I get what you're saying there, but are we all forgetting that this Sane guy has had many games where he's had poor decision making, his end product is not there, and his finishing is left a lot to be desired. Bro, sometimes he be skying the ball to the sky. Like I think about it, I'm like, bro, how? How do you sky? I just don't understand. And Bayern fan TV, you know something, right?
Go on.
Muller is someone who, even though he's playing poorly, he's given desire to play with his whole heart. You know what I'm trying to say? He's still going in. He's still trying to get something from the team. He's still trying to push to try to get a goal. But as for Sani, yes, he's pushing to get a goal, but his decision making is just not there. It's just not. It's just like, I'm sorry to say this. I know Bayern fan TV, you say, oh, maybe we should give him an extra year. But bro,
No, I don't think
this
so. I
guy
don't think
played
so.
right wing.
I just wanted, I just wanted to play devil's advocate here, just to
Mhm.
point some stats. But I think we should bin him as well. For me, it's
Yeah.
also not a productivity issue. For me, it's an attitude issue, and it's been an attitude issue for a while now.
Yeah, I agree.
There's games where he loses the ball and then he tracks back. He runs all the way back and it's like, yo, amazing. And then there's a lot of games where he loses the ball. He just
that's my problem. That's my problem. That's why I'm saying that Matthijs Tel guy. I don't know. I know he's very versatile. He can track back. He's very good with the 3 positions: side striker, left mid, right wing. If we could get those guys, it makes a lot of sense. If we can get him, because he'll play with passion, he'll run back and actually defend. Cole, you still want to have CR7 at Bayern? No. He's past his prime. I love him, but he's past his prime. I'm sorry.
Daniel, what do you think
on the Sane situation?
And this one.
Oh, I changed my mind on CR7. No more at Bayern. But
on my.
Well, why?
On the Ronaldo thing, I was thinking about it, and then he's a bit like Lewandowski, where he just does not shut the fuck up if you don't pass him the ball for him to score. I'd rather get Harry Kane, who's very unselfish. That's my main reason now. But for Sane, I'd actually keep him because I do like him, because he's very, very annoying. Because I think the time that he's pissed me off the most was against PSG under Flick, where it was the last minute of the second game.
Yep.
And he was through in the PSG box, 3 players around him, but there was an open pass to Musiala, who had an open shot on goal. And this fucking idiot Sane, I don't know if he crossed it or if he just fucked up the shot. I don't remember what he did, but he didn't pass it to Musiala. That pissed
he
me
was
the fuck
selfish.
off. But
you got the situation a little mixed up, because I remember that moment very clearly, because that was the moment that I was just absolutely furious. But he actually laid it back to Musiala rather than pass it to Javi Martinez, who was on the far corner, who was open right in like a meter away from goal, and instead he tried a more difficult pass to, I think it was Musiala. Maybe it was the other way around, where he passed it to Javi instead of Musiala, but it was at the end of a far corner, and it's open goal, literally just 3-meter pass, and it's a tap-in, the easiest of tap-in. Even Torres couldn't miss.
Yeah, even Nunez scored.
Even Werner could have scored. Yeah.
Oh no, Nunez is horrible, yo. I ain't gonna hold you. That man is a farmer. No. He's horrible.
But I do think Sane still has. I think this has to be his last season, because I think you can still play him. I think we need depth up top, and I think if it's the last few minutes of a Bundesliga game, just put him up top for Gnabry's position, or if you have to
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
if you have to rotate Muller, put him in the attacking mid for a bit. But I don't think he'll get a lot of game times, just because I think he's the one main player in the Bayern squad where he absolutely does not have any place in the 3-5-2. So I think it's a risk. Yeah. But I think this will be his make or break season for sure. I don't think they'll sell him this season.
But wouldn't you say, if Nagelsmann decided on playing the 3-5-2, right? Why would you still keep him if there's genuine interest from other clubs? If there's a club like Real Madrid who says, we are ready to take Sane. We are offering 60 to 70 million. Go on negotiation and eventually accept 60 to 70, right? Why wouldn't you not take the money if he has no place in the squad at all? I know he's I think he's popular in the team, in the squad, right? But if the formation doesn't allow him to play his strength, there's no reason to keep a player who earns 70 to 80 million a year and would bring you 70 to 80 million in transfer fee. I don't know. It's I think it's a fair point to say. Yeah, go ahead, CT.
Let me say something about Harry Kane. Harry Kane is the like-for-like replacement for Lewandowski, but my problem here is he a long-term solution? I don't know. I don't I haven't seen.
I don't think we need a long-term replacement. I think
that's what I'm thinking.
That's where Tel comes in.
Yeah.
I think Tel needs a year or two at least So if we got Harry Kane in this season, I'd be absolutely happy with it. Even though I don't rate Kane that highly, if I'm being completely honest, and that always gets me in trouble with my co-workers. But I don't rate Kane that highly. But having Kane for like 2-3 seasons would do a few things for us. One, English bias. Which immediately, like our club would immediately be a lot more popular because Harry Kane is the darling of basically England.
English media.
Yeah. If he were at Bayern,
he's the captain of the squad,
exactly.
Yeah.
And if he were at Bayern, we'd get so much more attention. And I do think like any young player could learn under him, but I just don't rate him that highly. And I know it's not going to happen this season.
I honestly do. I think it will be. You know what I think is quite funny is I don't know, Prince. You live in England, and I think someone else too. But if you speak about this rumor in general, right, about Bayern being interested in Harry Kane, they all laugh about it. They say, "Ha ha ha! Why would he join Bayern? Right? Why would he do that? What an idiot! How shameless Bayern think they are to even think about getting Kane." But I don't think it's that unrealistic, though. I think. To be fair, Tottenham won't sell to other English clubs, so I'm dumb to think that. Would they sell to like Manchester United? Would they though? Like they wouldn't, right? And if they, what are his other options? Real Madrid? No, they have Benzema. Barcelona, they have Lewandowski. Now it's just us.
No,
So
I haven't seen anyone in real life say that's ridiculous. Maybe like on Twitter, but in real life, no one's.
On Twitter.
No, in real life, no one's saying that's ridiculous. I think a lot of people think that makes a ton of sense. Actually,
I remember Mark Wahlberg though. He was on the United stand. He was saying like, "Oh, Bayern would never pay the fee." Blah blah blah. Or he.
But he said though that he would be proud if an English player would be playing abroad and like in a big club like Bayern. I think it's quite some tempting for some.
Let's be real here, right? We spend a lot of wages for our wingers, but we spend a lot of money, transfer fees for our defenders.
Yeah.
We spend 200 million on 3 players. 3 players.
Which is crazy.
80 million on Lucas Hernandez, 77 million. I mean, we don't know what the plus 10 bonuses are, but let's say 77 million for De Ligt. And then 37 million, I believe, Upamecano's release clause was. And then if you want to count Pavard as well, his release clause was 35 million. We spent a lot of money. So people always say Bayern don't spend money. We spend a lot of money. It's just that
especially on defenders.
Just on defenders. But the thing is, it's just that we always get great deals as well. Look at, Gravenberg. You look at Mazraoui. Those are great deals, I think. I think most people would agree. Those are great deals. But we also spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
A ridiculous amount. So I don't think Harry Kane, obviously not this season because we don't have the money for this season, but next season, I don't think it's that unrealistic. Unless we do get Tell this season and he just explodes.
Yeah. I think it makes a lot of sense next season, though, because like you were saying with the good deals, next summer, Harry Kane only has 1 year left on his contract. And then if Spurs don't do that good this season, I think he'll wait out to see if he's going to extend or not. So it would be a perfect deal for Bayern. And I think Oliver Kahn, bigged up Harry Kane, too, in a media interview, too. So I think it makes perfect sense for next summer.
Yep. Just before we move on or talk about something else, I just want to address this one very quickly just because I saw it. We're paying the 67 million in 4 years. Well, that's basically every transfer. The only reason why you know about this one is because Juventus, they are publicly traded company, so they have to announce the exact deals. But every transfer, unless it's a release clause, is basically structured over years. You don't pay that at once. So that's every single transfer in world football, unless it's a release clause, which is why Barcelona still owes money for Vidal from 5, 6, 7 years ago. Just because it's structured that way, that's all it is. So that's how it's paid. It's not that important, but yeah. Okay, actually, you know what? I see a few comments here, and we've got a lot of people here, so I guess this would be an interesting discussion. And me and Nagels123 actually talked about this a little bit because he asked me about my list. But striker options. who should we get as striker? Because there's a lot of people talking about you see this one, for example, Osimhen. Who would you want to get as a striker? Let's say we could have like one last big signing. Let's say a big, let's say we sell Sane. Let's say he wants out. He's like, I want to I want to go to a club where I'm a starting player, for the World Cup. And suddenly we get like 50 million. Who would you get? Who would your dream striker signing be?
You mean realistic one?
I think it's Harry Kane. I think it's Harry Kane.
Has to be realistic though as well, and I don't think.
Okay,
Tottenham
then it's not realistic. Yeah,
Tottenham won't let him go this year.
Matthijs de Ligt. No, I'm serious though. I want this guy. He just extended, bro. That's not realistic.
Patrick Schick, yeah.
I want to see Kalajdzic. Quite interesting that we were linked him heavily and then it just dropped.
Intriguing, isn't it? Daniel, do you know your choice?
He's not necessarily a striker, but because the way I view it is you have to get the right person or don't get anyone at all.
Okay.
That's also my case. Yeah.
Osimhen, I don't rate at all, to be honest. Schick, he just extended. I wouldn't. He's not like that. He's not that guy. I would go for. I like Cody Gakpo a lot. I would go for him with the Sané money.
Okay. Oh, you just hit Prince.
I was gonna mention Cody Gakpo, so I'm gonna have to think of someone else. I'm gonna say the person that I would go for would be Cody Gakpo is like the perfect one, which is why I was gonna choose him. He'd be my dream signing just in general, but I'll just go with Castellanos from New York City. Who'd be my next dream signing, ideally, just because he's quite young, 23 years old, and he is quite quick. He's got very good shooting. Reminds me a little bit of Sergio Aguero. But yeah, Gakpo is my number one choice. Castellanos is my number two choice.
We should have gone for Julian Alvarez.
I would have loved Julian Alvarez, but
yeah,
it's difficult to know whether he's ready. Just coming from the from Argentinian League River Plate, I don't know whether he's ready or not. Like it's difficult to say. Talent-wise, though, mamma mia.
He's a serious striker, though. He is. I don't think he's gonna start over Haaland. That's the problem. That's why I'm saying I think we should have gone for him.
Well, Haaland obviously has injury concerns. A lot of them.
Yeah.
Didn't he get injured today, or did I just?
No. There was some. Someone called Haaland and they were in their football Twitter just retweeting it to confuse people.
Okay. I wasn't so sure that he got injured today, but Haaland's injury worries do worry me for Manchester City. But if, as I said yesterday to a friend, if Haaland stays fit the whole season, he scores 40. He's going to be the first player in the Premier League history to score 40 goals in the Premier League.
Yeah,
he's that guy. He's actually that guy. He's great. Oh, man. We were so close to signing, though. Fuck off.
Alvarez would have been perfect for the two up top too. That's annoying.
Yeah, that really is annoying. Like I know we're selling Zirkzee, but I would love to see like Zirkzee and Mane or Zirkzee and Gnabry, just like someone that's a little bit more physical, someone that's a little bit more clinical, a little bit more good in the air, and then like someone that's quick and technical.
Yeah, I think Taisto also tweeted something like that, right? About this one physical and more quick partnership in the two attacker positions.
Didn't see that, but as usual, I agree with Taisto.
Me, I like playing with two strikers, to be honest. I ain't gonna hold you. I like what we're gonna do right now, because if we're gonna play with two strikers, it's much better than playing with one. One thing about playing one is it really, let's say you're playing against an opposition, it isolates you a lot, and you can sometimes make the run movements. Like a defender knows that, oh, this is who I'm supposed to defend, you see. So when you put two strikers in there, it kind of confuses the back four, and it kind of makes you think about defending two strikers instead of actually one, which one is usually easy to defend. So yeah.
So here's the interesting thing. I was hoping that, because all the rumors were saying that sometime today we're gonna find out about Matthijs Tel.
Oh yeah, I also hope it's that.
But nothing so far. I don't think we're actually getting anything today. But I just want to say this. How do I phrase this? Matthijs Tel and Lima. Let's say we get those two. The rumors are those two. Let's say we get those two, and that's our summer. Would that be? Would we have a squad that is good enough for next season?
I think so.
To win everything.
Yeah, to win everything. Yes.
I think so.
But what if we only get Matthijs Tel? We don't get Lima. The club says, you know what? We can't reach an agreement with Leipzig. We don't have our midfield.
That's my problem. Like, if we get Lima this season, we don't get Tel. I'm actually happy. This is just me.
I agree with that. I think we need Lima more than Tel.
Yeah.
Well, Toby, Austria. Isn't Trier like the smallest? I'm sorry, not the smallest. The oldest city in in Germany, I think.
Yes, I know Trier. Yeah.
But one thing you should know about Bayern is that we don't play our youth. Just ask Vanna. just ask Vanna, bro. The guy got scammed. All right. I was gonna wait with this one. I mean, the plan was originally to do it this time, but I was gonna wait with this one until closer to the season. But I guess we can do it now since we've got enough people, and we talk about all the topics that I wanted to talk about, unless people want to leave. But I want to talk about what does each player have to do to improve next season. So what does each player need to improve on to be the best possible version for next season from our squad? I think that sounds like a fun idea.
Yeah.
So let's start with Neuer.
Wait, can you still repeat the question? I didn't.
What does Neuer need to do next season to be better than he was last season?
Okay.
Does he need to do anything?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't you say that he was at his absolute best last season?
No, but that's also because of age too. I feel right? I can't.
Are you using that as an excuse?
Maybe okay. The thing I would say is I hope he shows more leadership for the young defense, to help them lead the way, be vocal with them. That's the one thing I want to see from him.
Okay. It seems like there's not much people are saying for Neuer.
No. Do we have to say something for Neuer? Because I think one thing I see about Neuer is it's gotten to a point where it gets really annoying sometimes. I know. He can have a game where he saves the ball 6 or 7 times or something like that. Okay, fine, I give him that. My problem is aerially. I don't know why. I just do not know why. And 1v1, sometimes in 1v1 areas, he just doesn't know how to save the ball. For example, his kryptonite is Mbappe. It has to be a legendary player like Mbappe, Messi, or Cristiano Ronaldo who can score, because I don't understand. It's every time you cross the ball inside the box, this guy makes a mistake. It's crazy, So that's just me. I think he needs to improve 1v1 ish, and his area ability in terms of shot stopping. It's really poor. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. Yeah.
Interesting, because I would have said all of that, everything that you mentioned was a strength of his, and I would have said that the one thing he needs to work on is actually been his passing. I feel like his passing has gotten just a lot worse for some reason recently.
Worse? Oh yeah. His passing too. Yeah, I just totally forgot. Sorry.
You're just harsh on everyone. That's all it is.
Oh no, you know why? Because I'm laughing because I remember he had a game where he literally gave the ball to the opponent's player. He gave it up like it was serious, man. He literally gave it up to the opponent's player. I was like, what the hell, yo? Yeah, his passing is also dreadful, yo.
But okay, left back Davis. Davis, I think we can probably talk the most about just because of how last season for him went.
Yeah.
So what does Davis need to do next season to be much better?
For the 3-5-2 with 2 strikers in the box, he needs to be better at crossing because his crossing is shit sometimes. Aerially, it's so shit. I don't know. But yeah, it just has to be the crossing for me. That's like the number one thing. Of course, there's other stuff too. I think defensively, he still needs to improve. He just relies on the pace too much. He needs to do better positioning and better crossing. Those are the 2 things for me.
I agree.
Did any of you by chance watch the training that happened during the team presentation?
Nope.
Yeah, I saw a glimpse of it. I had to go to work, but I saw glimpses of it. Yeah.
His crossing during that training was amazing. Like it was actually like every time he passed the ball, it led to an assist. So, and I don't want to like say he's worked on that, but I do think that might be something that Nagelsmann will have mentioned, especially if he's planning a 3-5-2 next season. I've always said I think we should really try Davis as a winger. I really do. Like you can still have his strengths of like dribbling, acceleration, so on and so forth. And if you put him on the right, I feel like he's not someone that has a bad shot either. He's got a relatively decent shot, so I think you can really try him as a winger. It's just that we don't have that many left backs or any left backs really, which is why he was never really played there. That's why he's just out of necessity. But I do agree with all of you. His crossing needs work, but I do think that's something that maybe is being worked on already, but I can't say for sure.
Also, his attacking output can be a lot to be desired too. So I think that's me. The thing about Davis is I know he's a good player, but he just should not be playing as a wing back. Like he's just not a wing back. I just want to let people know that. So yeah.
Okay. Next up, Lucas Hernandez.
Lucas, right? You see something? Lucas Hernandez is not disciplined. He's not disciplined. That's the problem. He's for me amazing, consistent center back. But easily, he wants to go and play the ball out of the back and try to, which is not needed because sometimes when you keep doing that and you lose the ball, the opponents find a way to score, So he needs to be very careful with always playing out of the back, especially if you have 2 ball playing center backs, it is very dangerous. So for me, I think it's mainly his playing out of the back. That's the problem. He makes a lot of mistakes. And what else should I say? No, I think he's good defensive wise. I think that's him. Do you think he's a center back or a left back though, Bayern fan team?
Oh,
That's
absolutely a center back.
Absolutely.
Absolutely,
He's actually a center back. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Like he shouldn't play as a left back.
Yeah,
Personally, for me, what needs to work on is his passing. Not short range passing, but long range passing.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Anything you got, Daniel?
The one thing he does that annoys me a lot is the man marking in the box, because I feel like a lot of the goals last season, they were just an open striker in the box, and I was thinking to myself, what the fuck? Where's Lucas or Upamecano? Like sometimes they just like leave the man in the box. I don't know why they do that. I don't know if it's like on both of them or one of them, but there were times where I'm like, if you're the leader, he needs to be more vocal too. He needs to be more vocal, and then I want to see him man mark in the box better.
Okay. Well, you kind of mentioned Upamecano, so I guess we'll move on to Upamecano. What does he have to do next season to fulfill his potential?
He needs to stop running around the pitch like a headless chicken. That's what he needs to stop doing.
I was gonna say the same
He
thing.
needs to stop doing that. He keeps running around like a headless chicken, not knowing what to do. He's so his awareness is terrible. His what's call it? Everything. Concentration is just horrible. His heading is horrible. It is I mean aerial duels is horrible. He needs to fix all those four aspects because I always see him run like a headless chicken, like he doesn't have a life in his own. And it is Bayern fan TV. I'm so tired of seeing Upamecano run like a headless chicken every game. It's crazy, bro.
I hate asking this then. Nianzou.
He just needs
Nianzou, right? Nianzou fits as a DM. If we're gonna play him as a DM, I have no problem. But when it comes to center back, Bayern fan TV, he is not that guy. He is not that guy. I'm just gonna let everybody know that he's too aggressive. He's just not that guy. If you want aggressiveness, then you give it to Nianzou to play as a DM. If they want that, and then you put Kimmich as a right back, that makes a lot of sense. For me, that makes a lot of sense. So yeah.
Pavard
was so consistent the second half of the season, but then when it comes to the this is my problem with Pavard. We tried him as a 3 at the back. It worked, right?
By the way, I'll be right back. I'm just going to get a drink, so you lot continue.
Okay. Whenever we play Pavard at the right back area, his attacking output is not good. His attacking output has never been good. His passing out of the back has not been good either. So I think he really needs to kind of work on his passing out of the back. But personally, for me, he only fits in a 3 at the back as a center back. That's how I see him. Yeah, that's what I see, guys. What do you guys think of?
What's your back line then for next season? Do you put Pavard right center back, De Ligt middle, Lucas left center back?
My back line for next season is Neuer in goal, Hernandez, De Ligt, Kimmich, and Davies.
If you have to do 3 at the back, though. If you have to do 3 at the back.
Oh, if I had to do 3 at the back.
Yeah.
3 at the back. Oh, that's a good one. You see something, right? Mm-hmm. If it's 3 at the back, you drop Hernandez, you play Upamecano, De Ligt, and Pavard as 3 at the back with Neuer in goal.
Really?
That's my personal thing. Yeah.
Well, what's the reasoning?
Lucas is only good in the 4 at the back. Lucas is only good in 4 at the back. That's how I see it.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, what do you think Nagels 1, 2, 3? Sorry.
I'm pretty sure Nagels 1, 2, 3 is currently gone for a little while. What are we talking about?
Oh, he said Pavard.
He's consistent, but I think he needs to just be better. I mean, this comment here sums it up perfectly. Defensively,
attacking.
Defensively, he's amazing. But attacking wise, he does like that half volley every once in a while. Like he did once during a World Cup and it worked against Argentina, and now he does it every single time. But beyond that, it's like, come on, bro, do some more attacking wise.
But I understand why he does that, because you need some, like when you see players like Coleman and these guys always crossing the ball inside the box, it's not offering any dynamicism, you see. So you kind of need like someone like him to kind of shoot the ball long so that it can give the goalkeeper a little bit of pressure, you see.
Yeah, but my argument is he leaves it up to the strikers, not the attackers, not you.
Oh, to the attackers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that makes sense though.
That makes sense.
But yeah, Stanisic, an interesting one.
I love this guy. I love
Oh.
this guy, but I just feel like he's not gonna get playtime. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Like, I think he's Mazraoui's backup option, Stanisic.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I think he's Mazraoui's backup option because for me, he's a very good player. I think we'll keep him. He's a very good player, but if he's gonna start over Mazraoui, that would be really nice because I think he has more to prove than Mazraoui does. I think this might be his year. This might be actually his year. Yeah.
I don't
Who are we
personally see
talking
it.
about?
Stanisic.
Nah. If I get to my opinion is Stanisic is a good player, like he's a really good player, but I don't think it's his year. I think he's a good backup, but that's it. I don't think he's like much better than that, but could be proven wrong.
Let me say something, right?
Yeah, go
Did you
ahead.
guys see how he silenced Coleman and Mbappe in that? friendly?
Yeah, I know that. So come on, that's like
You get what
one
I'm trying?
game.
Like,
One
yo,
game.
ever since I saw that, I was like, no, this guy is a serious player.
Now he is.
This guy's
He
a
is.
serious
Yeah,
player.
he is. He's great. I like
Yeah.
him.
One game though. Come on. All right, let's talk about the big boys then. Kimmich. What does Kimmich need to do to improve next season?
He just needs to go back to playing right back, my friend.
Get vaccinated. Now,
Yeah.
I think go back to right back. I don't think that's a possibility for him
And
for
take
his-
Stanisic spot. Come on now.
Yes. Yeah. No, look. He's not good in passing. His final third is not good either.
Okay, stop. Are you talking about
No,
Kimmich or
no, I'm
Stanisic?
serious. I'm serious.
Who are you talking about?
I know
Kimmich or Stanisic?
No, for me, Kimmich.
Okay, no, stop. I'm gonna stop you there. That's just disrespectful. You said that's
What? Why is it?
disrespectful to our best passer. That's disrespectful.
No. Look. Let me say something, right? Kimmich in Leipzig was always playing right back. He was never playing DM.
He was never playing right back. Never.
Oh, okay. Did we ever play Lam as a DM?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
With Pep Guardiola, he played DM.
He played DM, right? But that was
Yeah.
not his position. That was not his natural position.
I
So
think
with
Guardiola
Kimmich, right?
Kimmich is naturally a central midfielder.
Yeah, what do I want to say?
No, you say this, right? You say this, right? But if he's naturally essential, he's overthought himself in the midfield area. You see, playing around with the ball, losing the ball in the midfield, and letting. Yeah, and letting midfield. Sorry, I'm back. Yeah, and letting the midfielders, right?
Says Kimmich can't pass. No, honestly though,
Nah,
if
he
we
can't
have to
pass,
say-
bro. He
But
can't
nah,
pass.
You need to stop. You need to stop.
I think
Bro, have you seen so many times when he's been hesitant?
Look, I allow everyone's opinion on this. I allow everyone's opinion on this YouTube channel. That's my whole philosophy. I allow everyone to speak, but you need to stop.
yeah, I'm weirdo.
There are certain players you can't say certain things off, right? You can't say
Yeah.
Kimmich can't pass. You can't say Muller is not good at finding space. There are just some things that are too much.
What you
Unless
can
you're-
say though is that Kimmich is not a proper like number 6.
Oh,
Maybe
everyone
he's-
knows that.
Yeah, that's something we might agree on. But to say he can't pass, I've seen many of Kimmich's passes where I'd be like, holy shit, that was so good. Daniel, go ahead, tell us your opinion.
Which player are we on?
Kimmich.
Kimmich.
And as you can see at the bottom
Oh.
at the banner, but Core said that Kimmich can't pass.
Okay, his issue isn't passing. His issue is that he can't fucking defend because people say he's a DM this, he's a DM that. He's very good at attacking. Defending, he's not very good, and he needs to learn better positioning when he's defending. That's my biggest issue with Kimmich.
That is acceptable, yeah. That's acceptable. But saying Kimmich can't pass, nah, oh, come on.
Nah, come on.
Yeah, he can pass very well. He just can't defend.
Yeah, I think most of us would agree with that. He needs a little bit more help. Goretzka. Is he in a starting level? I don't know. But Goretzka.
Ignoring the fact that he can't do shit because of his injury, I don't think it's his fault. But if it comes to actual play style, what you could improve on that, I think he should shoot more often. I think he has a good shot. Actually, he doesn't shoot enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because, as you said, Prince, you like these direct players, right? And he's one of them. And I think his shot is quite good. Could score maybe. I think it was hard to shoot from outside the box because you're always looking to pass the ball to Levy because you know that he'd score most of the time. But with Levy Khan, I think it would be quite more goals outside of the box. I think this is where Goretzka shines.
Mm-hmm. I think with Goretzka, he's very, very well-rounded. He can do a lot of things on a very acceptable level.
Yep.
My issue is with him is that I want him to assert himself more in games because sometimes I'll look at him and he goes a bit missing. He needs to be more dominant in the midfield because he's a big guy. He can do things very well. He needs to show himself in that midfield, really grow into the game more. That's what I want to see from him.
Okay. I mean, it's kind of like very typical of box-to-box players, that they're very good at multiple things, but, don't necessarily excel at anything. Maybe, don't excel at taking control of a game very well either. So I think, he's just a typical box-to-box player. I think realistically, you can only say there's been one box-to-box player that excelled at everything. And that is probably Lothar Matthäus. That's the only player that I can think of. And, he was so good that later on he became more of a defensive midfielder than a box-to-box. But, yeah, for me, I know this isn't his fault. It might actually be his fault. I don't know. But he needs to stay fit. And the reason I say it might be his fault is because, he put on a lot of weight, a lot of muscles, and that by itself is often an issue. Because there's more strain on his muscles now when he runs, so on and so forth, and that's why he's you can pick up muscle injuries a lot quicker that way. So it might be that he put on too much, maybe. But again, I'm not there. I'm not looking at his stats, so I wouldn't know. Let's start with Musiala. What does he need to do to improve on?
Nah.
I'll let you know if no one knows. He needs to be more productive. Last season, I think I just watched a Musiala video 2 days ago, of all his goals and assists, and let me try and find it. It was a very low number. It was I did not think it was this low, if I'm being completely honest. Not that I can find a video now, of course, but it was I want to say it was 13 goals and assists in total, which is very low. And you can say he hasn't played that much, but he's played enough to where he really needs to be getting more goals and assists.
Yeah. I think it might be because they pushed him back in the midfield.
Yeah.
But
Still,
I think,
16 in total.
Yeah, it's not that good. I think he needs to shoot more, like you were saying. He's a very good shot on him because I think in the long term, if we do get Florian Wirtz and Nagelsmann stays and we stick with a 3-5-2, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Musiala playing in the 2 with Matthijs de Ligt and then Wirtz behind him. So I think I want to see more output from Musiala for goals because I think he's a good shot on him.
Now that I actually think about it, sorry, it's a little bit off topic, but you kind of mentioned Wirtz there. If we actually get Wirtz next season, I almost feel like next season is bigger than this season in a weird way. Next transfer window in the summer will be bigger than this one, because Vids, obviously we're looking at Harry Kane. That by itself is already nearly
it is
200.
It's quite big. But I think Wirtz is topic 2024, not yet next year. To be fair, I think the reason he extended was because if he didn't extend, he would have been gone in the next year. But he extended to, I think he would be gone after the Euros in Germany. I feel like that's the point where he would be leaving the club, except Leverkusen doesn't make it into the Champions League. But I doubt they won't. I have a different question, and this is like really off topic, right? But when I was like a kid, I had my team, right? I had this Bayern team. I always I loved Schweinsteiger, I loved Philipp Lahm, Robin Ribéry, right? These were the players I loved. And then it's this shift of players. Always the new players coming in, the old ones are retiring and leaving the club. And I always wondered, how do people, let's imagine you've started following Bayern 1980. And now this squad is completely different. There's nothing which is related to the squad back then, but you still feel connected to the squad. You know what I mean? It's because you like the club. Yeah, I know, but you are not connected to the players. I always feel like, are you losing interest in the club or in football if there are more and more players who you are not relating with or you are not liking? You know what I mean?
Okay, I'll answer that question for you, because I can tell you the answer for me very quickly. I don't care about any of these players. Straight up. I haven't cared about a player since Lam retired. I don't care about these players in the slightest. You could all retire right now and I wouldn't care. There are two players that I like to watch a lot. Well, three players that I like to watch a lot. And those are Müller, Musiala, and Kimmich.
Yeah.
And those are the three players that I like to watch. But if they, if Müller retired tomorrow, okay.
But if the question is, if the complete Bayern score would be replaced with another one next day, you wouldn't mind?
No. When you play chess, do you care that your pawns and your knights and your rooks and your queen dies if you win the game? No. You don't cry about the next game either. I lost this game, but you know what? In the next game, I'm gonna win. But he got my queen. He got my queen the last game. He got my pawn the last game. You don't care. You move on. That's how it is in football for me. And I know that's a bad analogy because chess, you're losing pieces all the time. But same thing in football, really, just in a longer time span. You're losing players all the time, so it's just different perspective. I care about I care about the club. I don't care about the players.
Daniel, core football. What is your take? You have any fear of losing interest in football or the squad if you don't have any players that you support that much?
This past season I lost more interest than usual. I think it's just because that it was coming off the high of Hansi Flick, and then I think with Nagelsmann coming in and when the play style going down, I kind of just lost interest. I think my interest will be there if the team plays well. I don't really care who the players are because they come and go at this point. They're not going to stick around for 10 years anymore. So I think as long as the team plays well and there's something fun to watch, I'll keep interest. But in terms of specific players, I don't care.
Cole?
I think he's gone for a minute or so.
Okay.
You wouldn't care when Müller retires, are you for real? No, I really wouldn't. Obviously, I'd be like, okay, you know what, great career, so on and so forth. I wouldn't think how we'll replace him because we've already got a replacement in Musiala. And while Müller or Kimmich are probably my two favorite players from the squad right now, the players themselves, I don't really get attached to. Very simply, like Müller, I really enjoy not so much on the pitch, but more so off the pitch. I think he's just a funny person, and I just think whatever he does is funny. So that aspect, that aspect I would miss. Yeah. But in terms of on the pitch, not really. No. It's the same if we play with it's the same if we play youth players at the end of the season when everything's already won or everything's already lost. I'm not watching that and be like, oh, where is my favorite player? Why is he not playing? I don't care.
That's kind of childish if you say it like that. Yeah.
I don't watch Bayern. Okay, this is I do and I don't. I don't watch football for the players, but I do watch it for the players. But when it comes to Bayern, I watch it for the club. When it comes to other clubs, I watch it for the players.
Yeah, good take.
Yeah,
Good take.
yeah.
Yeah, really good take. I watch PSG mainly because of Mbappe, but I wouldn't watch them if Mbappe wasn't playing there, right? That's what I would say. But I watch Bayern regardless who plays because I love this club. It's my favorite club. That's a really good approach. Yeah, good one. Go on.
Because I think people forget that at some point these players are going to retire or leave. So the more you fall in love with them, the more you're going to get heartbroken at the end. So just enjoy how they play and then enjoy the club.
Imagine being a Lewandowski fan.
Yeah.
Could never be me.
I'm sorry, I was a fan, but yeah.
I know. But yeah.
Which player were we on? I think we left at Goretzka.
Goretzka, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, Musiala. We were at Musiala.
Oh yeah, Musiala. Yeah, I already said what I want from Musiala. Does anyone else have anything to add?
I had my thing with the more shots, but that was it.
What about? Well, we just talked about Müller, so let's talk about Müller.
Now, because Lewandowski left, he has to score more because we need to make up for the goals somehow.
Yep.
And he's not going to be a provider. He doesn't need to be a provider as much anymore because there's no target man in the box anymore. We're going to be more free flowing, so he needs to start scoring goals again, like how he used to under Jupp Heynckes and Louis van Gaal.
Okay.
Well, Müller, he should be the mentality of knowing that he only plays because he performs well, right? Because I felt like at the end of the season, he knew he'd play regardless. And that's not a good mentality. And I think he has competition now. I think Musiala, he's demanding more and more play time, and for a good reason. And because of that, I think the pressure is good for him. As Daniel said, he must score more goals. And what else? Nah, I love Müller, man. That's it.
All right. Gnabry. What does Gnabry have to do next season to improve?
Want to go first, Daniel? I could also go first.
I need to think for a bit. You can go first.
Prince, you were saying about Gnabry's number. Do you still remember them? Like his goal contributions?
Yeah, I've got them in front of me. 17 goals, 10 assists.
These are actually good numbers, right? But I think he must score at least 20 goals. Mm-hmm. And by that, I mean, I don't like to put it on one stat specific, but I just think he needs to score more goals, especially after Lewandowski's gone. I think him and Mane are the best finishing now in the squad, of them who are considered starters.
Mm-hmm.
And by that, I would say Gnabry needs to score more, but also, I don't know, but I feel like sometimes Gnabry does things I can't understand. And by that, I mean, he's putting in some weird crosses. His decision making sometimes,
mm-hmm.
I always feel like, why did you do that? Okay, I get what you're trying to do, but nah, stop it. Go. Mm-hmm. There were simpler play could have worked out better. But I think it's only.
Will you have to cross next season if you play another striker?
How do you mean that?
Because you're saying that his crossing is bad and whatnot, and he's doing some weird crosses, but will he actually have to cross next season if he's not on the wing?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't have the squad anymore. I think he's like a striker now, right?
Yeah.
It's just.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Yeah.
So Davis press conference right now, without sound. Good one, Bayern Munich.
Yeah, because my issue with Gnabry is that my critiques are coming from him playing in the winger role, and now he's going to play more centrally. Because my issue is that with build-up, he can be very hit or miss. He'll either do some dumb dribble or some dumb pass or whatever, something bad in build-up. But if he's going to be playing up top, I don't think it'll be as much of an issue because he's just going to have to churn and shoot, or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds fair. Both of your comments. Coleman, complete opposite of Gnabry.
Yeah, he needs to get some
Yeah.
output. Like,
His finishing is shit.
yeah, he's finishing his shit.
But haven't we
Like
not been
sometimes
saying
he has
that for
good shots
years?
though, but
We've been saying that
But-
since he joined us.
Yeah, it improves over time, but it's not like at a unbelievable level. But if he's playing as the wing back per se, like he just needs to cross. His finishing isn't as important.
Okay.
yeah, I think even though Lewandowski's gone, I don't think his finishing is something we will rely on. But
Mhm.
still, it's not only his finishing. I feel like I don't know. I rate decision making pretty high, right? I think it's about the decision you make. It decides purely on whether Lewandowski scores or not. By at least last season, I think the way he gets the ball and whether you pass to him or decide to shoot by yourself. And I think sometimes also Coleman had some weird decision making. Sometimes you need to go into dribbling, but sometimes you need to pass, and I don't know whether he could improve on that. But otherwise, I think he's maybe if he playing as a wingback though, I don't know whether he can defend that well. Do you know anything about that? Is he good as a wingback?
He's
He
a few
played it at
times.
France, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
How about you, Bayern fan? What do you think Coman needs to improve?
Well, I'll say the same thing I said last season, and I'll say the same thing I said 2 seasons ago, and I'll say the same thing I said 3 seasons ago, and I'll say the same thing I said 4 seasons ago. He needs to slow down.
Mhm.
He does everything right until it comes to the final ball, whether that's to shoot or whether that's to pass or whether that's to cross or whether that's whatever. He needs to slow down, and you'd think with experience he would slow down even more. And yet, his mind just goes quick. I need to get the basket. I need to get a ball quickly into the box. I need to quickly pass. I need to quickly shoot. I need to quickly do this. I need to quickly do that. It's like, no, you've got plenty of time. You've been in the situations 1,000, 1,000,000 times in your career before. Why are you just rushing? Just slow down. Evaluate your options properly. If you have to shoot, shoot. If you have to pass, pass. There's no need to get worked out about it. And there's no need to just go for it. Just clearly you've been in the situation plenty of times. You're overthinking. At some point you need to stop turning off your brain. It is football IQ, but I don't think it's necessarily football IQ in the way that most people think about. Where he needs to start thinking more. I think it's the opposite actually. I think he needs to stop thinking. What I think he needs to start doing is he needs to start incorporating the almost muscle memory that he's built up in training and on previous games where he's been in these situations. He needs to stop overthinking and just let his body do the work basically.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I also agree.
Now the last player, I believe, and that's Sané.
Sané.
We talked about him earlier, but Sané, what does he need to do to improve?
He's one of my favorite players, man. I honestly, the whole squad, I love the whole squad, but still, I just like him because of his. I don't know. I like this type of player. I don't know why. What else? Man, just find back to the first half of the season form you had. I think that's probably the best step. Already the step that could bring him back. But Prince, as I already said, and Daniel and also Crawford said, this man will struggle to find a position in the 3-5-2. Like, for real, I don't know where he would play. Like, the only thing I see is Gnabry plays like shit, right? Then Sani comes in, Müller moves up front as a striker, and now Sani plays behind him. That's like the only possibility where I see Sani, because he can't play wingback, can't play as a number 6. Where would he play? Like, he could be his finishing, and I don't think he would be played as a striker. So his only position is the number 10. and it's hard because also Musiala's fighting for that spot.
Interesting.
Yeah, what is your? I want to know if you were Nagelsmann and you must play Sane, where would you play him?
I don't have to do anything. I don't have to do anything. I don't need to play him. He can sit on the bench. I'm not getting bullied by the board. If the board tells me I need to play him, no, I'm leaving. I'm walking, and that's exactly what I'd do. I'd bench him, unless he showed me in training that he wanted that, he's hungry for it, which he should be this year with the World Cup coming up. So if he's hungry for it, okay, he'll play. But if he's not, if he gives me attitude, if he stops tracking back, and that's going to be the moment where I'm going to be like, you've got all this talent. Clearly, you're one of the most talented, if not the most talented of our wingers. But your attitude betrays you. And that's why I'm not playing you.
Yeah.
Oh, Lewandowski transfer just made official now.
Okay.
You think Nagelsmann's too nice to Leroy Sané? Because I feel like if he had like a Jurgen Klopp screaming at him, that he would probably be tracking back more, be sharper on the ball, all these things. You think Nagelsmann's too nice to Leroy Sané?
I think Nagelsmann is too nice to most players.
Mm-hmm.
If it was up to me, like 2014, where the people call final, Pep just leaves Mandzukic at home and then he gets sold the next season.
Mm-hmm.
That's me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're giving me cheek. Oh, you want X, Y, and Z. Nah, you're staying at home. I'm telling the during the interview. I'm not sugarcoating. I'm not. Oh, he's at home for a personal. No, none of that personal reason nonsense. I'll just be there straight up saying, nah, he's at home because he didn't train good, and because he didn't train good, he doesn't deserve to be here over the other players, and that's simple.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you start doing that, if you start being honest with the with the public, the players, they can't hide anymore. Yes, they might want to leave, but they can't hide anymore, and that means they have to, show performances.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same issue that we had with Lewandowski to a lesser degree, and that's that we allow the players to trample over the club. And they might not do it maliciously. Sano doesn't do it maliciously. He's a nice lad. He clearly isn't doing it maliciously. But it's just a case of, well, there are other people that are vying for your position. There are other people that are, that want to play, that are burning to play, that will literally fight on the pitch, game in, game out. You need to bring that. If you're not bringing that, then I'm sorry, you're not playing. And I hate to be like one of those like passion merchants. You don't need to have passion. Like, you don't need to be like passionate on the pitch, but you need to at least fight on the pitch, because that's what you get paid for.
Yeah, I agree.
I got tears in my eyes, guys. I just seen the clip of Lewandowski saying goodbye to his teammate. I don't know why. Man, I'm such a pussy, bro.
You are. I mean, you're not. Don't worry about it. We all feel sad. Oh, so sad.
No, we don't. We shouldn't. Fuck this guy.
We have the next Mbappe coming in 2 or 3 days.
Exactly.
He actually is. He's the next Mbappe. Trust me on that. I've watched the video of Quincy, your interview.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that
I
too.
know. I watched. I don't want to I've went to his website, right, and he does rate many players really good. Like he does give many players 9 or 10 out of 10. But the way he spoke about this guy, he's generally convinced that this guy is like maybe once, as the title says, one step below or one level below Mbappe, and that's already crazy, considering how good Mbappe is. And honestly, who knows his ceiling? Who knows Tell's ceiling? Maybe he's even better. We don't know. I don't want to say it now, but this guy, I'm telling you, bro, 10 goals this season. And that's not just only because I have a bet. I generally think he will score 10 goals.
In all comps or Bundesliga?
No, only Bundesliga. I know it's a dumb bet to make, but I was so convinced of him. I still am.
I could. It depends how much game time he gets. Like if he gets, who's a good comparison to make? If he gets as much game time
as one of the wingers last season who didn't play.
Nah, he easily gets. Actually, no, I can't say easily, but he'll get 10 goals if he gets as much game time as say Coleman or Sané or Gnabry. Easily, he'll get 10 goals.
Mhm.
But is he going to get that much game time? I don't think so. We don't have a striker. That's like the positive. And let's be realistic here. You know, if we're being completely honest, yes, we've got a lot of attacking talent, but Sane gets injured quite a lot. Coman gets injured quite a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying there are spaces available.
Yeah. My worry is that that one season when Xerxes would come on for like the last 5 minutes and score a goal or two.
Yep.
My fear is that they do that to Tell. That's my fear.
I hope
Like
not.
yeah.
But yeah, we went through the squad. Let's talk about the manager. Nagelsmann. What does he have to do next season to not get sacked?
Go some balls.
Yes. He needs to be harsh with the players and stick to one formation he believes in. Don't get shit from any of the players if they come on and say, I don't like this formation, I don't like that formation, or anything like this. Stick to your formation and be hard on the players.
Well, I just want to talk about this comment very quickly. We're about to spend 30 million on Tell. He better get game time. Yeah, say that. Actually, we forgot about someone. I was going to say that about Sabitzer. We didn't even talk about Sabitzer. What does he have to do next season?
Sabitzer.
I feel bad for this guy, man.
I think you should do a little bit of a better job warming up the bench for like Gravenberch and Leimer.
Oh, wow.
That's my comment for him.
That's rude. What is the guy doing? What? Why does he doesn't deserve all this, does he?
He doesn't deserve it. I just think it's a funny meme at this point.
Niles, he said you feel sorry for him.
Yeah, because he's not playing good. Like, don't get me wrong, but he was at Leipzig, right? He was a key figure in that team. Went to Bayern, and now he's like someone who would Bayern could choose. They would sell him. I feel like that's kind of sad because he was quite good at Leipzig. Otherwise, we wouldn't have signed him, right? I don't know why it's so difficult for him to adapt because he's not even like playing another league or something. It's still the same league. So,
You know the worst part is?
well,
Every time there's international break and he plays for Austria,
he's
he
playing
looks
good,
like
yeah.
a completely different player that pisses me off. It's like, where is this Sabitzer for Bayern?
Because it's not RB football.
Mm-hmm. Even in a 3-5-2, I don't think he fits because he doesn't fit in those pivot roles because I don't think he's good enough defensively or good at controlling the game enough. And then in the attacking mid spot, you got Muller who can play there, who's going to start there, Musiala, Sane, who's maybe going to have to compete for that spot. So I don't see how he gets into this team at all.
But yeah, that's the discussion. I was really, really, really hoping that we get some news about Tell, just because that's what all the reports were saying. But there is absolutely nothing yet. And I know it can happen later, but it is extremely warm. I don't know about you lot. I haven't had the fan on, which doesn't help because the fan, just background noise that people don't want to hear. But I do appreciate everyone being here. I do appreciate all the talks about what players have to do, as well as our discussion in regards to De Ligt officially joining Bayern. I won't ask your lineup this time, just because there's basically no change from last time, really. I would assume.
Yeah.
But what I will ask is two different things. One, rate this transfer window right now out of 10.
Without any future.
Yep, just as it is right now. Nothing else happens. It's the end.
I'd give it a 9.
Good, also 9. I would even give it a 10 because of how good, like insane these transfers are of Sadio Mane and Matthijs de Ligt. I would have never dreamed of getting these players. But yeah, it's for me it's a 10 just because of the names. I mean, I couldn't even rate it fairly because we don't know how they play, how they perform, but just you have to rate them by their names and how much we need these players. Is this only a 7, bro? Why?
7? Nah. I would give it a 9.
It's harsh, bro.
I think we need Leimer really badly. I think we need someone like that in the team. So if we get him, it's a 10. Without him, I'd give it a 9.
My question is, would you change your mind if Nagelsmann came out today and said, you know what? Our plan for next season is to play Neon Zuda. We don't need Lima.
If that's what he's gonna say, I'll give it like a 9.5 because I know at that point we have someone in that role he's gonna trust. So I would give it a 9.5 then. I just want to see someone in that role.
What if he'll come out and say, you know what, Upamecano, he'll play as a defensive midfielder. I know he's not played there, but I trust him.
Well,
And I
let's
would
see,
give the window a 0 because I do not trust his manager at all. Then
All right.
Can we, before we end, one question about? I want to ask you both. I will also say my opinion on that. I want to ask you what. So, how do I say that? Compared to the squad we have now, to the squad from last year and the year before, and especially the year where we won everything, is our squad better if we get Lima and Tell, or is it worse?
It's already better.
yeah,
Right, it's better, right? Even though we have no Thiago and Matthijs.
No, absolutely not. No, don't worry about Thiago.
Right.
Because you actually have a right back now, so that by itself is better. We've got a versatile attack. We've got a better defense. So for me, it's easy. Yes, we don't have Lewandowski, but okay.
I think we do better without him. It opens up the team more.
It does, yeah.
That's a hope I have, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's an easy one for me personally.
I bet it was an easy one. I wanted to ask one question about.
Because I don't rate Coutinho that high, and neither do I rate Perisic that high.
Oh yeah, I didn't mess up.
I love Perisic though. I like what he brings to the team. But
Yeah, he was like a hard grafter, but I don't rate him that highly. Like if you ask me Perisic or Mane,
yeah. He's fun to have, but I don't miss him when he's gone.
What is your favorite transfer this window? With Tell and Lima. Prince, it's Mazraoui for you, right?
I think he's got to be the most important. But my favorite one is personally Gravenberg.
Oh, I also rate him high. I hope high hopes on him. He's a great player.
I just want Gravenberg to right the wrongs of Renato Sanchez.
Well, yeah. Yes, Daniel?
If we get Limer, I'm gonna say Limer just because I want to see what he brings to the team and right the wrongs of Sabitzer.
Imagine he failed as well.
If we don't get him, I'm gonna go Gravenberg just because of the potential. I want to see what his ceiling really is in a team at Bayern.
You know what? Tell would be a good shout as well.
Yeah, for me, it's either De Ligt or Tell. Yeah. I love the fact that we're going to risk with this transfer, right? Because honestly, I was sick of Dortmund paying 30 million for Bellingham, 20 million for Sancho, and then having like these top players. I also want one of these.
Yeah.
Honestly, right? I mean, when Dortmund was paying, like they were paying 30 million for Bellingham, I believe, or 25 at least. Mm-hmm. No one was saying anything. Oh, it's totally fine. But now at Bayern, Bayern is so dumb for paying 30 million. Yeah. Or was it any different? Prince, how well was Bellingham known in the UK?
Well, not to your average football fan, but to those that paid a little bit more attention, sure. Like, he wasn't, like, unknown.
Okay. But still.
But if you watch football, like, every day, you probably knew him. The same reason, like, if you watch football every day, you probably know, like, the Brighton fullbacks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we were also, like, close to signing a bit.
Oh, yeah, we were. He was, in our stands, everything, just watching our games, and then he had to make a decision between us or Dortmund, and he went with Dortmund just because for more game time.
God, that's so sad. That's so sad. But I think he would have left eventually because he's English. So not a big risk.
No, I think he wouldn't left Bayern if we were joining Bayern. No, I don't think so.
I don't trust these English players. When they come, they'll leave if they're young.
Yeah, but honestly, we wouldn't have left him. Like, just give him a good contract and then say, you're too important for this club. You ain't going anywhere. Okay, you could sit down his contract, but
I know it's the end of the stream discussion thing, but at this point, I do want to say one thing, and that is good luck and quick recovery to Haller.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Who yesterday, if you're not aware, he signed with Dortmund striker. Their replacement for Lewandowski. And yesterday, they discovered a testicular tumor. So I'm just wishing all the best, the quickest recovery possible for him. I hope that everything goes well and it was discovered early, hopefully. But yeah, with that said, I think I'm gonna call it quits. Again, I was hoping for there to be some news towards the evening, but nothing. Unfortunate. But there is an interview with Matthijs de Ligt that CF Bayern I don't know why he always gets like the first interview. This should have been a plenty interview, honestly.
Yeah,
This
yeah. I
been
also seen the. I think it has to do something with the. I think it has to do with. I think he's well more connected to the club than any
Yeah.
other reporter. Even though Petty gets like this inside information from the Mane deal and the Ligt deal, it's still I think Bayern's connection to Bild is too important for them. That's
Yep.
why they give him the first serve kind of thing.
Don't
Yeah,
you
you get the
Nagelsmann's connection to build?
Yeah.
Man, this guy,
Well, I guarantee.
honestly, I had to check 5 times whether it's the real Imir Samir account.
I guarantee you in 20 minutes after the stream ends, we'll confirm tell.
Oh, absolutely.
I will watch the press conference now with Nagelsmann.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably watch it myself now as well. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I do thank all of you for watching. If you do enjoy these kind of discussions, please give them a thumbs up. I know they don't really do anything, but hey, it looks good. That's really what it was. It looks good. But yeah, with that said, we'll see you all next time. There's a lot of interesting games coming up. The league was obviously confirmed today, and our next game against DC United is gonna, I believe, happen in 2 days. I want to say. Or maybe 3 days. I'm not 100% sure. I think it's the 21st actually, but I'm not 100% sure. So there's a lot of goodness that is coming your way. But just from me, see ya. Nagels123, Daniel, thank you very much for being here. As always, if you want to shout yourself out, if you want to promote your stuff, go ahead and do so. Be my guest. But yeah, from me, that's a see ya, and I don't know what you lot have to say, if anything.
Yeah, thanks for having us again.
Yeah,
as always, you're welcome.
Great discussion. Finally, with some hardcore Bayern fans like me. Honestly, hard to find. Most of the Bayern fans, I feel like, are very casual. Like, at least in like the place where I live. I don't know how it's with you guys. Like, Daniel, how is it in the US? What is like the most presented, like the most supported club there, like outside of the US, like European club?
I would say it's Barca. I see Barca the most.
Okay.
Yeah, not many Bayern. Definitely a lot of Barca.
Who's the favorite Bayern player in the US? Like the most popular?
Probably Davis, right?
I think it's Davies. Yeah, it's Davies.
Yeah, would have guessed that. Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, peace out. See ya. Bye.
Peace out. Bye. Yeah.